probably to take this place for granted, but for me, not being from here, this is a very special place, a very intense receptivity to ideas, and I think a very sensitive mindset to the change that we're going through and the change that's necessary for our planet right now. And I better get going here. But like this earth change, wow, this is really fast. Big, massive things are good buffers between us and what's happening on the planet, and the ancient people knew that, and things of that size seem to last a very long time. And that's always been sort of my thing in life, is that we need to blend into our environment and be as self-sufficient as possible. And nature is such a good tuning fork for that. This is Fisher Towers in Utah. The Moab area in Utah has very special sandstone colored formations, and that kind of beauty is very inspirational. I've been to Nepal, and when I was there, I saw a house being built in the closest town to this Annapurna range in Pokhara, Nepal, and what struck me was it was a total village or family effort. Everybody was working on construction, from kids to older women, and it was just amazing. So I figured I had to do that, but to do it, I needed a place to do it, and I was the first person on this remote mountainside, and I ended up being able to name my street. I called it Overlooked Way, because I felt that the way I wanted to live, the white man has overlooked it. So I just had to be so obvious about being out of the way of the authorities that I figured I'd flaunt it like that. This was the view, or still is the view, from my house. The earth changes haven't done anything to that. And so it's all very, very steep. In that first slide of that cliff dwelling, I tried to create my own cliff dwelling, but I needed to do it my own way. This area down here is where I sort of made my compound. That house up there was very late coming. For 13 years, I was the only person in a mile radius, and I was basically hiding from the building inspector, because I needed to do my thing, and all they wanted me to do is build with sticks and chalk and glue and ground up rainforest, and that just wasn't my thing. This is my crazy house right next to the cliff. I wanted the skylights to have sun come in and grow food, and I started with rammed earth. I thought that standing in a box pounding dirt was a real smart thing. Then this Blue Oyster Cult album came out, and these chamfer edges, these beveled edges, I thought they are just so cool. There's something very timeless about that, and that inspired me into the whole timeless nature of what we need to do. So I came up with this idea of sticking the steel in the back of a concrete panel, which enabled me to use that panel as just a wall face, and then have two of them side by side, which I finally caught up. and so this is looking down. This is one wall panel. This is the other. Those steels overlap, and they're fastened together in the center. And so this creates this big inside open area of the wall, and that was keeping in my rammed earth tradition to build a wall with an elegant concrete outside, but you can fill that space inside up with dirt or rock or sand or whatever, and then these strips go in around the panel, so they tongue and groove together, so it's a dry, mortarless, real simple construction. Of you just precast these blocks, and the blocks are easy enough to precast that anybody can do it. This was a place that I made for my sister, and we got a building permit for that. Once I got out of my mountainside, I needed to be legit with the government, so we did that. It got inspected and passed and everything. And this is the tractor that created my cliff. So the mountain poured through this screen that I built my rammed earth walls with. That was a wall, and then I used my old experimental panels to I was going to put a garage in there, and I built that as a retaining wall. But wow, I thought 20 seconds was a long time, but it's not. Jeez. So I got to Roberts Creek, and we built house number one. This is looking up at house number one, and these are it's precast concrete with insulation inside the cavity, and then between the insulation filled with structural concrete. And this is a very inexpensive way to build because you eliminate the drywall, the siding, and the concrete itself doesn't cost anything. The whole thing is making these panels, because there's no real wiggle room to it. They have to be very precise, and getting the precise method to make this and to do it fast and easy is an important thing. And so we had to, I tried to make it lightweight, but the lightweight didn't really work, so I took concrete out of it by putting these voids in the back side, and that saves concrete. This actually ends up being the most efficient way to use Portland cement, so that you're getting the most structure for the least amount of cement. This is the second building that we're working on, and the walls are almost done. That's kind of a little older picture, but with the shapes, there's just a minimum number of sizes, a minimum number of things, and God, this is so fast. And so my idea is, every house needs an attached south wall greenhouse. The sun comes in, heats up your greenhouse here. You have a fan that pushes the warm air down under the slab. You have a water thermal reservoir down there. Boy, I just don't have enough time. And so at the top, the wall has the beam and a concrete slab that ties it all together, locks it together. It's the same kind of construction that they make high-rise condominiums out of if you're in Vancouver. And boy, I got to learn to talk faster.